not knowing anything about bass fishing and my dad getting tired of me reeling in my bait every 5 minutes. You gotta let it sit, we catfishing or, anything that bite type of fishing, bobber and a worm. He's like, man, I gotta put something on this kid's rod where he can entertain himself and leave me alone because I'm over here trying to catch some fish, right? So sure enough, and I got the bait right here, the exact color. It's not the exact bait, but it's still to this day one of my favorite. You gotta have this one in the box. It's R46 red crawfish. This one right here is a killer, man. I was, I don't know, 5, 6, 7, just big enough to yank a pole and cast it back. This little dude right here, catching them big time. And that's kind of what sparked my love for bass fishing coming up. Spending time on the California Delta, catching fish on rattle traps and a host of other lures. But I have fond memories with the rattle trap because it is a very simplistic and easy bait to use for novice anglers. You can pretty much give it to anybody, tell them, hey, throw this out, reel it in. Throw it out, reel it in. You will catch fish. A lot of details and small little tricks of the trade you can do to it, but it is a more or less cast it out, reel it in bait for those who don't know much about fishing. So let's get into the thick of it. All right. Very, very, very important stuff right here. These next 4 points with a rattle trap. How many people have lost a bass on a rattle trap? Let me see some hands. Yeah, the rattle trap lipless crankbait is notorious for people losing fish on them. And I'm going to tell you why. A lot of people don't have the equation put together properly. It's almost like a science, in my opinion. I can't stress to you enough how important the rod is, okay? Right now in my hand, I am holding, this is a Kistler, brand new rod that just came out, an awesome graphite composite blend. I'm going to say that again. Graphite composite blend. That is everything when fishing a rattle trap. Everything. You get out there with a graphite rod, I don't care if it's light action, medium light, how parabolic it is, the graphite responds too fast. You're gonna lose fish. You feel that immediate boom, and what do? Set the hook. This ain't a set the hook bait. You ain't punching, you ain't flipping. We trapping, right? So let's talk about the different retrieves. There's so many different retrieves. I can't go over them all today. And ultimately, as anglers, what you need to keep in mind is you need to always pay attention to what the fish react to during that particular day. It changes constantly. It changes throughout the day. It changes lake to lake. But you need to be honed in on what that is, okay? Now, generally speaking, I do not recommend this, but we talked about this when I opened up. I do not recommend throwing a trap and just simply reeling it in. But the fact of the matter is, sometimes I smash them doing that. It's just how they want it. Nice and steady is what I call it. Throw it out. Give it to your kids. It's really easy. Give it to your brother-in-law, right? So you can get out your hair, man, tie this on, cast it, and reel it in, right? Throw it out, reel it in. Sometimes they can't handle it. They absolutely choke it on just a nice and steady retrieve. The second one is the stop and go. And I'm sure a lot of you are familiar with that, with square billing, deep diving crankbaits. It's just an old school tried and true technique with any treble hook style bait with a bill on it and or lipless. And with the stop and go, what that does is it imitates a fish fleeing and dying. You ever seen a shad in the water when he's dying? He takes off real quick and he just stops and he kind of drifts, right? And he kind of sails. And then you might see a fish coming behind him, or he might get startled again and he takes off and then he just kind of drifts. And that's a natural reaction for prey fish. That's just how they roll, right? So the stop and go becomes a great way to fish a rattle trap. So I'll throw it out there, let it go to the bottom, 3 or 4 real quick turns of the reel handle, whoom, 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 kill it. And just let it sail down to the bottom. Boom. Whoom, 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 3 or 4 times, let it sail down to the bottom. Boom. That's the stop and go. And in my opinion, when it stops and it kills and it falls to the bottom, you create a little dust cloud. You create a little noise from it landing on the rocks. You get those fish attention, they're paying attention now, and they're curious. They're like, what is that? Oh, man.
Oh, wait a minute, I wasn't supposed to show that.
No, you're good. Secrets coming out, man. Golly. I ain't want to tell all my secrets in one day, but I guess I'm going to. All right, y'all. This is something, a couple things I've been holding on to for a long time. I've had a lot of success with that I don't really talk about. A couple of my real close buddies, not even Cajun Baby, know this.
Welcome to Bass University TV, an online video training course where you'll learn champion bass fishing techniques from pro anglers Pete Glusek, Mike Iaconelli, and their talented special guests. From on the water to in the classroom, you'll learn sound techniques and strong fundamental bass fishing skills. Watch hours of video content on multiple topics at your own pace for a low monthly fee. Cancel at any time. Information is power in the sport of fishing, so learn from the very best. Subscribe to Bass University TV today.